So now, serious matters here. Very, very serious matters. Very, very serious matters. And I want us to be sober. I thought I should talk about this. And I'm talking at 10 hours because I know I'm political vouchers vala ingira. I'm a political vouchers vala ingira, and they will be creating a narrative vala tampoku mivepa vale mivepa. I don't want you to be cheated. I don't want you to be cheated, and you can take it from me. I am speaking for you, the ordinary citizens. Ina panchile chitama politics. Mshile chitama politics. Vera mivepa ma political vouchers na ve mapasweka. Na ve mapasweka bali sabaila. Yo, tayari alela ndefi pantu alefo kuwela. Tayari alela ndefi pantu alefo kuwela. Nami papata. You should be asking them. You should be challenging them. Challenge them when they come to you and say, no, Tayari is talking like this because he wants to come back. Ask them, is what Tayari is saying not true? Bushale vepa. Is he lying? Because they are not responding to my issues. They are not responding to my issues. Instead, come back home. Challenge them. Tayari alelandefi. Nga imamuleti poshani. Imamuleti poshani. No chukwa suka. Inena rande chintu. Imamukwa isamukwa suka. Iyo. He wants to come back. Hey, no. Haka inde ichirema. He wants haka inde ichirema to forgive him. Answer to my issues. They are busy scandalizing me. But whatever they are saying, don't bother. Don't bother. And if you want, it's okay. You can even accept to say, okay, Tayari ni Mushani Nabwali. It's okay. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem to be called. Please respond to my issues. Focus on my issues. Call me Mushani Nabwali and then justify why you call me Mushani Nabwali and what you say about the issue that I'm raising. Epona Vela, the biggest opposition leader, because in my issues and you fail to engage on my issues. You fail. That's why I am a prolific politician, because no one challenges me on my issues. You don't. The only thing you resort to insulting me, being personal. Respond to my issues. So anyway, like I've said, let's talk about this issue here yesterday, where the speaker said Bill 7 cannot be stopped by the court. And anytime the Minister of Justice will want to come back, she can come back to Parliament. She can easily come back to Parliament if she so wishes. Okay. Now, that can noise. Anyway, they are cleaning. Atari the folk. Na alikuwa tanawa cleaning. Ela yolenda tayari the folk. Nishinde wera kuzami. Ala, kabyeni huko. So, Bill 7, and I even said this, when these political vouchers were celebrating, they were celebrating, hey, the court has embarrassed Daka in the Ichirema. Hey, they were having press conferences. Hey, the so-called lawyers, they were having press conferences celebrating, we have stopped Bill 7, whatever. I told you, you are celebrating too early. I told you, you are celebrating too early. I told you this bill has not been withdrawn. This bill has not been withdrawn. It has only been deferred. It has only been put on pause. And it can come back. And you have got no capacity to stop Haka in the Ichirema on this one. I started saying this from the word go. Once these people who are jumping in the air and they have got no capacity to stop Bill 7. Bill 7 is going through. Bill 7 is going through. Bill 7 is going through. Let them not cheat you that they have got capacity. They have got no capacity to fight Bill 7. Bill 7 is going through, and it will go through before the elections. before the elections. Like indicated, Bill 7 is likely to come back in September. In September, it is likely to come back and it will go through. It will go through. There is nothing that is going to stop Bill 7. So all those who were raising, who are laying for what Niba Capeta, are laying for what Chimfiaka in the Ichilema, Mulei Pafi. You were just fooling yourself. The joke was on you. You were busy joking. Hey, Aka in the Ichilema. Hey, I told you. There is nothing that you are talking about. So, Bill 7, September, and it will go through. And now, let's discuss the issue, the ruling of the speaker. The ruling of the speaker. I'm saying, but NELLY MUTTI, she's on firm terra. She's on firm ground. She's on firm ground. That ruling, whether you take it where it is on firm ground. Why do I say it is on firm ground? Number one, we need to understand the three arms of government. We have got three arms of government, and these three arms of government, we have got the executive, headed by the president and the government, okay, and his government. Then we have got the judiciary, headed by the Chief Justice and the judges and going down there. Then we have got the parliament, which is headed by the speaker. And the members of parliament, of course. So we have these three arms of government. These three arms of government, they are independent and autonomous from each other. These three arms of government, they are autonomous and independent from each other. Now, before we go further, we need to ask ourselves, what is the functions, the main functions of the three arms of government? What is the main functions? The main function of the executive, that is the president and his government, it is to govern. The job of Hakainde Hichilema and his government, it is to govern. How do they govern? By formulating policies. And of course, these policies which they form must be within the law. So the job of the executive, the executive, it is to govern. And when they are doing when they are governing the country, these, whether parliament, whether judiciary, cannot interfere. Parliament cannot interfere. The judiciary cannot interfere when Hakainde Hichilema is governing, because that is his responsibility. The job of Hakainde Hichilema is to govern the country. That is the job. Hakainde Hichilema is the head of the executive. His job is to govern the country. And when he's governing the country, you cannot stop him. You cannot arrest him for governing. And of course you can say, no. But what about bad governance? We are saying that when they are governing, they must follow the law. As long as they have not flouted the law, there is nothing that court can do. There is nothing that the executive legislature can do. There is nothing. And even when they flout the law, Hakainde Hichilema or his ministers, they cannot be arrested. All they can do, if you go to court to say, look, there is this policy which this government has made, and this policy is not in line with the constitution. That is when the court cannot say arrest Hakainde Hichilema. No. They cannot say arrest the government. No. They can simply advise. To say, that policy that you are bringing with the law. You hear? The job of Hakainde Hichilema and his government is to govern using policies, and those policies must be within the law. But if they come up with a policy that is not within the law, no one is going to be arrested. The only thing that the court can do, if somebody goes to court and moves the court to make a ruling, the only thing that the court can do is to advise Hakainde Hichilema and his government to say, this is not in accordance with the law. Can you relook at this policy? They cannot stop Hakainde Hichilema from governing. The court cannot stop Hakainde Hichilema from governing. The parliament cannot stop Hakainde Hichilema from governing. They can't. They can't. Aaron Nirongo, let's understand each other very well. Let's understand each other. Let's not use emotions. Hakainde Hichilema cannot be stopped from governing. Even if they come up with a policy which is crazy. A policy which is crazy. For example, they come up with a policy to say, all men must be wearing G-strings. Yeah? Let's imagine they come up with an absurd policy to say, no, about me wants to follow my G-strings so that we bring this gender equality. It is crazy. It is crazy. It is crazy. And somebody will say, no, this is violating my rights. I'm going to court. I'm going to court. And when you go to court, the court will not say, arrest Hakainde Hichilema for saying such a thing. It will say, no, the president is overstepping your rights because you are free to wear what you want. The president cannot dictate what you should wear. The court will say that. But that doesn't mean that Hakainde Hichilema can stop. If Hakainde Hichilema wants, he can continue to say, no, I insist because I want gender equality. I G-strings. I insist. The court will be saying, no, it is violating your rights. And Hakainde Hichilema will say, oh, okay. There is no law. I'm going to make a law. With that funny policy, Hakainde Hichilema can go to parliament. He can go to parliament. And parliament, once parliament receives that, they can come up with a motion to make a law that men should be wearing G-strings. And I'm telling you, as funny, as absurd as that law may be, Hakainde Hichilema, when he goes through, when they come up with a policy, they take it to parliament, and it is before parliament. The court cannot come and say, no. We ruled against that. We ruled against that. You cannot bring that to parliament. Nothing. They can't stop it. And it can go on until it becomes laws. And if it becomes law, it becomes law. So, the point I want you to get is that I'm talking about the executive. The executive, they have to govern. And they govern using policies. And those policies must be within the law. But if they are not within the law, somebody can go to court. Civil society, citizen can go to court. But the court cannot stop Hakainde Hichilema from governing. Okay? No, because you are making this whatever. No, you are not going to govern. They can't do it. They can't do it. Because the only people that can remove Hakainde Hichilema, it is through elections. It is through elections. If you people see, this man is not making sense. He's asking us to wear G-strings. No. In the next elections, you can vote for him. You can vote him out of power. You can vote him out of power. Government court cannot stop Hakainde Hichilema. Only the people can stop him through the vote when the general elections are there. You can say, their policies were bad. They made us wear G-strings. So that is a joke. Now, let's come to the judiciary. What is the job of the judiciary? The job of the judiciary is to deliver justice. The job of the courts is to deliver justice. That is the job. That is the job. The job of justice is to deliver justice. That is their job. Now, when do you deliver justice? You deliver justice when there is conflict. When there are parties involved. There are two or more parties involved. And then the court is moved to arbitrate, to deliver justice. It is when there are two parties or more parties are in conflict, or there is no fairness. There is no fairness, or I don't know, but there must be a conflict, and the court must be moved. The court must be moved to deliver justice. And when they are delivering justice, the executive cannot interfere. Parliament cannot interfere. For example, when the court delivers a judgment, they deliver justice through judgments. And when the court makes a judgment, no one can talk. I mean, we can talk, but you can't challenge it. You can't challenge it. The judgments that are made by the court, the president cannot interfere. Parliament cannot interfere. A judgment written by a judge, that is it. The only thing that you can do is to challenge it through the judicial system. You cannot challenge the judicial system. You can't. You cannot challenge the judgment of the court by moving the president. The president cannot come in and say, no, this judgment is wrong. No. They can't. Even if it is against him, the president cannot interfere. When a judgment has been written, it has been written. And you can only challenge a judgment through the judicial system. And it has got where it ends. It ends into the Supreme Court or the Con Court. Once it reaches there, there is no recourse. There is no recourse. You can't do anything because the courts must work independent, meaning away from the executive, away from, without influence from Parliament, without influence from the president, independent. Autonomous, when they make the judgment, that's it. That's it. That's it. When they make the judgment, that's it. So they deliver judgment, they deliver justice through judgments. That is the job of the courts. What about Parliament? Parliament, the job of Parliament is to make laws and offer balances to the executive. That is the job of Parliament. The job of Parliament is to make laws and offer checks and balances to the executive. That is the law. How do they do that? They do that by the standing orders. The standing orders. So as long as you are talking about standing orders, you cannot interfere with Parliament. As long as you are talking about standing orders, you cannot interfere with the legislature or Parliament. You can't. When you are talking about not interfere with the judiciary, when you are talking about government, running governance, you cannot interfere with the executive. You can't. So Parliament works with the standing orders. So anything that goes in the standing orders, that's it. If it has been accepted, that's it. If you bring, for example, you bring a law which is crazy, and this law can be brought by either the government or the members of Parliament. A motion can be brought by government. A motion can be brought by the members of Parliament. It can be brought, and no matter how crazy it is, once it has been accepted by the clerk of the court to go as part of the motion to come to Parliament, that's it. There is nothing that you can do. There is nothing. You can't interfere in the business of Parliament. You can't. You can't interfere in the business of Parliament, no matter how crazy the debate. As long as it has been accepted according to the standing orders, there is nothing that you can do. The court cannot interfere. It can't stop it. It can't. The court cannot order Parliament to stop attending to its business. No, it can't. They can't. I'm talking about the business of Parliament. In terms of making the law, in terms of offering checks and balances, the court cannot interfere. None of these three arms of government can interfere in the core business of the other body. Court cannot interfere in terms of governance. They can't. If Hakainde Hichilema becomes crazy, or if we have a president who becomes crazy and is ruling kaya, badly, is ruling so bad, the court will not stop him. The court will not stop him. The court will not stop him. The court cannot. You can take the president to court to show the president has done this. And the court can only advise if it is in terms of governance. And be careful here. I'm not talking about personal issues. I'm talking about governance. I'm talking about governance. If the president grabs land from you, that is not governance. But if it is something relating to policy, they cannot interfere. The legislature cannot interfere. The only thing that they can do is that's why we have impeachment. The only thing that can come in to remove the president is impeachment. Other than that, nothing. So when you have a motion, it has gone to parliament, it has been accepted, it is on the floor of the house. Nobody, not even Hakainde Hichilema, can say, hey, stop it. Just like that. No, he will not do that. He can only do it following the processes of parliament, according to the standing orders, where his minister, like in this case, will go and either withdraw or defer a bill. In this instance, the Bill 7 is already on the floor of the House. Bill 7 is a business of parliament as we speak. Bill 7 is part of the business of parliament. It is part of business. Kaluba is saying idiot. No, Kaluba, don't say idiot. What I'm saying here is true. If you have anything other than that, please write your comment. If what I'm saying is not true, don't call me idiot. Listen to what I'm saying. And if you have to challenge me on what I'm saying. Parliament cannot stop, a court cannot stop parliament from removing what is on the floor of the house. No one has that power. Not even the president as the president, no. Yes, he can do it, but through his agents who go to parliament, and they have to follow the law. The president cannot phone Nelly Mutti and say, hey, Nelly Mutti there, hello, can you stop whatever? No. And you know, in this instance, you might be looking at it from a point of view of no government. Because they are also private members' bill. A member of parliament from the opposition can come up with a bill, a private member's bill. He can come up with that. And the president may not like it. So in as much as the president doesn't like that bill, as long as that bill is on the floor of the house, the president cannot phone Nelly Mutti and say, Nelly Mutti, I don't want that bill to be debated. The president can't do that. So don't just look at it from the point of view of a government, a public bill. No. Look at it also from a point of view where a private bill is raised from the opposition. So the opposition are discussing this, and the president is not happy. The president can't come in and stop that. Even the president cannot go to court and say, no, that bill, no, we don't want that bill. They can't. They can only advise, that's all. They can only advise, but they can't stop it. So in terms of Bill 7, don't be cheated that the court ordered Hakainde Hichilema to stop Bill 7. No. In that judgment, read it. There is nowhere where the court said President Hakainde Hichilema or this government must stop this. They never said that. They can never, because that would be interfering with governance. They can only advise according to the law. If you want to do this, this is what the law says. That's all. And when government receives that, it doesn't mean that the government can have to stop. No. For example, the example that I gave you, if government wants men to be wearing G-strings, I'm using that example, please, not with no disrespect to women, but it is just, I'm trying to come up with something crazy, something crazy, so that maybe I can help explain. or whatever nonsensical bill that they may come up with. Whatever nonsensical bill that they may come up with. But if in this instance, if government insists to say, no, we want all men to be wearing G-strings, and the government says, you cannot force men on wearing what they don't want, okay? Because the rights, it's infringing on the rights and whatever. But if the president and his government, they want to insist on that, they can go to parliament and pass a law. And when they are passing that law, no one can interfere it as long as it is on the floor of the house. Kwamana. And the job of the speaker is not to say, this bill that you have brought, no, we cannot accept this. No. The speaker doesn't do that. The only thing is to put it on the order paper and bring it to parliament. The only way you can kill a bill is by voting it out. That's all. The only remedy to your Bill 7, I want you to know, the only way you can stop Bill 7 is by making sure that you have more numbers. You have numbers to stop it in parliament. You have numbers to stop it in parliament. Bill 10 was killed in parliament by numbers. It was not killed by the civil society, by whatever. It was killed in parliament. That's why it was killed. So the only way is having numbers in parliament where parliamentarians will come and vote against it. That is the only way you can defeat it. So let them not cheat you. Let them not cheat you. Let them not accuse Nelly Mutti. Nelly Mutti has done nothing wrong. Nothing. Nelly Mutti does not control these bills. They come from our representatives. They come from our representatives, either from government or from opposition. Nelly Mutti's job is to allow the debate. So Nelly Mutti will allow the debate. The debate will go on, those who are for, those who are against. After the debate, Nelly Mutti will call for, do you agree? Can we have the yeas? Yeah. Can we have the nays? Nay. No, we have a tie. We have a tie. Let's vote. And they will vote. And once they vote, if it goes through, it becomes law. If it doesn't go through, it falls off. That is the only way, my brothers and sisters. The tampo kumivepa, because efondela ndiro chero nuninji shiba apabale nona bale nona akaswa komsaka nomba Nelly Mutti bala mutuka shani chavala kuma 20 hours uko kwala bala ikala pama TikTok bala ikala wale landa yo Nelly Mutti Nelly Mutti you ili pa floor of the house ngaesha pa floor of the house. Whether yaku opposition, whether yaku ruling party, tapari ofenga chita Nelly Mutti, tapari. The court cannot stop Nelly Mutti. The court cannot, in terms of the business of the house. Now, some people said, no. How can you say that? Because Nelly Mutti is the same one who is saying that, no, I cannot declare Mao Sampa as leader of opposition because Chabinga is the one who is there. Because your matter is in court. That's what some of you are saying. No, but why is Nelly Mutti saying that this is in court? But for this one, he's saying, no, the court cannot interfere. Nafi pusana. The issue, yakwa Chabinga, it is a party matter. It is a party matter. It is not a parliamentary business. It is not. Issue yakwa leader of opposition is not a parliamentary business. It is not a parliamentary business. Issue yakwa Chabinga. Issue yaba PF. Te issue ya parliament yo. It is not a parliamentary business. It is not. It is not part of the order paper. The standing orders. It is not. It is a business of PF. And why is Nelly Mutti not interfering? Why Nelly Mutti is not interfering? It is because these were PF. They are fighting. They are fighting. But PF, they are fighting. But they don't selana. uyati nine PF awe iwe iwe PF iwe niwe chisanguka iwe niwe nani uko valelwa ba PF evalelwa. How does ukulwa kwa PF involve Nelly Mutti? Tell me, how does the conflicts that are in PF, how do they affect Nelly Mutti? Let's be fair, let's be reasonable. But PF but Chavinga te leader of opposition. If a leader of opposition to say knew you at this point in time, who owns PF? Who is Nelly Mutti going to recognize? Who is Nelly Mutti going to recognize? Because valelwa venu ko valelwa. Elo dida valelwa baitwala ku court. Ten Nelly Mutti wabatwala ku court. The matter is in court, but it is not parliament. It is not the speaker who has taken them to court. It is not. Vene baitwala ku court, bali itwala ku court, bali ku court. Uatwele ku court ba PF ni nani? Bushani Nelly Mutti. Who took the PF to court? Who took the PF to court? Ni nani? Bene baitwele ku court. After baitwala ku court number, kilikiti valelo. I know kufesti kuja ili wafumishepo munduvile. There were these issues. There were these issues where, you know, Parliament said, no, they didn't know about the court order. That's what they said. If you remember, ili wafumishepo munduvile. Ba speaker wala njoko wati. I received a letter. And when I received this letter, I didn't see the court proceedings. That's what she said. Whether that was not true or not or true, that is another issue. Mingalato, if you want. Mingalato. But the issue is, she said she didn't see it. According to her, she said, no, I didn't see it. I didn't know these people are in court. Me, when I received the letter, I saw the headed paper, it was PF and whatever. I recognized that as PF. Okay? I recognized that PF. So at that point, Palapa face paria, but speaker can even run away. Okay? Can run away because, well, it was Elofia Tampile. But at this point in time, these things are in a public knowledge. Are in public knowledge. They are part of our common sense. There is no way Nelly Mutti can say, I don't know about the court issues. Palapa Festi, she could say that. She could say that. And yes, I don't believe her. But then, the point is, Mingalato. And she could run away from it at that point. Because all of your time, at this point in time, if you court, even you people you know, you don't even know who is the president of PF. Because as we speak, the president of PF is in the morgue. And everyone is still looking at him as PF, as president. And they are waiting for instructions. Even as we speak, even today, there are people who are waiting for instructions. There are people who are waiting for them to be anointed by Edgar Chagwalungu from the mortuary. As we speak, there are those. And even as we speak, Mao Sampa is a president of PF. Is a president of PF somewhere. Because if you say no, Mao Sampa, they have reconciled. Mao Sampa staged a convention. So has there been a convention where Mao Sampa has been removed and somebody else has come up? Because Mao Sampa held a convention. And after that convention, that's when we recognize him as president. Or they recognize him. I didn't recognize him. But they recognize him as president. So today you are saying, no, we have come to agree. How have you come to agree? Iria convention, what has happened to that convention? What has happened? Have you held another convention? Have you held another convention? Then Kwasa is number Chavinga. Chavinga na konika president. How have you removed this Chavinga? How have you removed this Chavinga? So we have 3 presidents in PF right now. We have one who is not even issuing instruction. He's in the mortuary and Makebi Zulu has taken over. He's speaking for him. Edgar Chagwalungu is in the mortuary and Makebi Zulu is speaking for him. Muchitumbi, Makebi Zulu is using the powers of Ichitumbi to direct PF, and he's directing them. Oh, come to South Africa. We bury from here. Oh, go and have a funeral at the secretariat. Oh, what? Makebi Zulu is directing, is using Ichitumbi to direct PF. Edgar Lungu is still president of PF. In spite of him being dead and cold for over 1 month, he is still president. He is still president. People are accusing me of betraying Edgar Lungu. Edgar Lungu is dead and I'm betraying him. I want Edgar Lungu to be buried in Zambia, dignified, as a former head of state. And the people are saying, no, you are betraying him. How am I betraying him? Edgar Lungu is dead. How can I betray a dead man? How can I betray a dead man? You are immortalizing him. Tamrefa Edgar Lungu afwe. Edgar Lungu is still your president, but Edgar Lungu is dead. He's dead. But no, he's not dead. Ask Makebi Zulu. Makebi Zulu, you tell, you know, my client is Edgar Lungu and is giving instructions right now. So he has given him instructions that Hakainde Ichirema should not attend the funeral. I should be buried in South Africa. He's receiving instructions. Kumuntu wafwa is receiving instructions, and he's still president. And some of you are still there. You know, they are still believing there is a faction which is still there. Edgar Lungu is still their president. 1 month after Muntu Alifwa, he's still their president. From there, you have now Mao Sampa. Mao Sampa claims he was elected through a convention. Don't forget that. He was elected through a convention. So if he was elected through a convention, how has he ceased to be a president? How has Mao Sampa ceased to be a president? A man who was elected through a convention and went and changed the whatever Pakra documents. How has he ceased to be a president? Then, so we have these 3 presidents, and this is common knowledge to everyone. So today when you go to parliament and say, no, we want this one to be leader of opposition, who is the speaker going to recognize? Who is the speaker going to recognize? And all these issues that you're talking about, they are in court. They are in court. So the point I'm trying to make is that this is not a parliamentary business. This is not a parliamentary business. The infighting over PF is not a parliamentary business. So it is not, they are different from the Bill 7. Bill 7 is a parliamentary business. And parliamentary business cannot be halted by anyone. Not by the president, not by the chief justice. They can't be halted. Not even by the speaker, by the way. Not even by the speaker. Even the speaker, she's the head of legislature. She cannot just wake up and say, I'm suspending this bill. She can't. She can't. It is on the floor of the House. And if it is on the floor of the House, it is either the mover withdraws it, or it goes through the final process of being voted for or against. That is the only way. That is the only way. When you talk about PF, that is PF matters. There is another issue. There is another example that was given to say, but what about the 9 members of parliament? The court stopped. Yeah, the court stopped. There is a difference. The difference is that these 9 members of parliament were removed by the party. They were removed by the party. And according to the instructions that went to parliament, parliament moved on those instructions coming from the party. Coming from the party. Coming from the party. Instructions coming from the party to say we have fired this one, that one, that one, that one. They should not be in parliament. Was that a parliamentary business? No, it wasn't. It wasn't. And so, these people went to court. No, you cannot chuck us. So between the 2 of them now, they are fighting. It was a PF business again. They are fighting, they are fighting. They go to court. And then the court goes, okay, whilst we are looking at this matter, can these continue being in parliament? Whilst we are looking at this matter, can these continue being in parliament? And that is how they stayed. It is not that the court interfered with parliament, because that was not a parliamentary business. That was not a parliamentary business. Bill 7 is a parliamentary business. It can only be withdrawn, or it has to go through the entire process until it is voted for. The mover of that Bill 10 has not withdrawn it. How do you expect it to be removed from the standing orders? How? From the order paper, and order paper and standing orders. How do you expect it to be removed from there? Because there is a way that these things are supposed to be done. How are you expecting it to come out of parliament? How? When the justice minister has not withdrawn it, how? How? As long as the justice minister does not go and stand in parliament and say, Madam Speaker, I am withdrawing this bill for whatever reason, blah, 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 blah. May it be removed from the order paper. Then it is withdrawn. But as long as the mover does not do that, it stays there. It stays there. Like now, she has only paused to say, Madam Speaker, I want to look at other issues in the meantime. First, for now, hold on to this. And the speaker's she's holding on. Until such a time when she'll come up and say, Madam Speaker, I'm ready now. Can we proceed? It will proceed. As long as she doesn't do that, the court cannot come in. The president cannot come in. And don't just look at it from the government point of view. Look at it from the private members' bill as well. Where a member, Binwe Mpundu, for example, has brought a bill to parliament. Government doesn't like it. President doesn't like it. The president cannot phone Nelly Mutti. Nelly Mutti, tell that guy to withdraw. He can't. Can we? They can't. As long as it is parliamentary business, you can't stop it. You can't stop it. You can't stop it. Yeah, PF, that is PF business. That is PF business. And PF business, when it is in court, parliament, has got nothing to do with it. They can only pause until it is resolved. That's all. So I just wanted you to get enlightened. Ngawaisa mkumye bati, yo, baneli muti, babi sana, baneli muti, nibakada, bebe nati.